Hello, Dawgpound South campers. This is the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. Well, preseason's finally finished, and it's obvious that Kevin Stefanski is not a big fan of preseason games, held out 30 players, which was kind of surprising. I was, due to the left tackle situation, I was very happy that they held out Deshaun Watson. Other quarterbacks who haven't played this preseason, Kirk Cousins hasn't played. Lamar Jackson, the reigning MVP, has not played the preseason. So I'm not really worried about it. A lot of people are worried about it. I'm not. These are practice games. Now, as for preseason game number 3, if you hung through that for the entire game, standing ovation. I didn't watch a lick of it. I'm sorry. If it was a regular season game, then yes, I would have watched it. But it's a preseason game. And after I saw the list of players who weren't playing, I was grateful. And to further my gratefulness, I watched some highlights this morning, and the only broadcast I would have been able to watch would have been the Seattle broadcast team. And after 10 seconds of watching a 9.5-minute highlight reel, I muted it. Oh my God. I don't know why. I guess NFL teams got to have homers in their preseason games. I've watched the Browns home broadcast before and on the first game this year, and they're more subdued about it. But oh my God, they were terrible. I don't know who the hell they are. I don't want to know who the hell they are. They were bad. Okay, so I watched the highlights and picked up some stats after reading this morning. Oh, and besides, if I had stayed up and watched it, I couldn't have gotten up super early here at our cottage in the mountains of Pennsylvania, and I would have missed a lot of that came visit. And that's why I come up here. I come up here to relax, and I come up here to read, and I come up here to see nature. All right. So DTR, Winston, what was he? 3 for 3. We're not even going to count that. The two main quarterbacks who played, Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Tyler Huntley, both played well, I thought. DTR was 11 of 20, 115 yards, touchdown. Beautiful pass, James Thrash. I'll get to him in a moment. Huntley, 17 for 22, 146, and 3 touchdowns. So, what's going to happen at the quarterback situation? Well, I've said this from the beginning. Due to the fact that there were 58, a league high 58 starting quarterbacks last year, and the Browns had 5, he will be dealt before cutdown day on Tuesday, the 27th. That's cutdown day. So I have a pretty good idea that Huntley will be traded, and because Andrew Berry doesn't like to cut guys and not get any value, like the defensive tackle Chris Williams pick swap. He got something for someone who wasn't even probably gonna. Well, if he did make the practice squad, somebody would have stolen him off the practice squad. He probably wouldn't have cleared waivers. So I think they'll keep DTR as their number 3 emergency quarterback on the practice squad. He's shown great development, good arm strength on that long pass to James Thrash. Speaking of James Thrash, 4 catches, 73 yards, and that touchdown. Michael Woods has been coming on, 5 catches, 53 yards, and a touchdown. Cedric Tillman played extremely well. I'm not worried about the quarterback room. I'm worried about not the wide receiver room. I'm worried about somebody taking a very talented wide receiver off the Browns practice squad. So Porsche even looked good. Running backs, I'm a little worried now. Dante Foreman, rib injury. The other injuries, Justin Hardy, a concussion, and Chase Williams, a concussion. Both those guys. Chase Williams, he probably would have made, I don't know if he'd make the practice squad. Justin Harden probably would have. But right now, the running back's a little bit thin. Be a good time to have Nick Chubb come off the pup list, don't you think? He would give a big boost to that running back room. Right now, it's not that great. Nyheim Hines will be back, but he's not an everyday back. Jerome Ford can be a number one back. He proved that last year, with the exception of tackles for loss behind the line of scrimmage, in which he led the league. Other than that, well, we'll talk about it here after the break. I want to talk a little bit about what I saw on offense, defense, and special teams. Okay, there is no running game whatsoever, and I know we no Nick Chubb, but there's still no running game, and that's because of the offensive line. Andrew Berry had a little tell at the pregame show. I didn't get to see it, but he said they expect starters to be back. Well, they're only missing two starters, Conklin and Wills. I have a feeling because they started giving Conklin left tackle reps, and he did play, I believe, his freshman year at Michigan State, left tackle. I have a feeling he's going to be your starting left tackle. DeJuan Jones, your starting right tackle. I don't know if Wills is going to be on the PUP list at the beginning of the season. Anybody who's on the PUP list has to sit out 4 games. He may just need a week, so we don't know. Defense keeps. I don't care if it's the backups. Oh, by the way, Michael Hall had a heck of a game too. I don't expect a suspension. What happened? We've already got the victim who has recanted part of her story. These situations are very fluid. So I don't expect a suspension. I expect Mike Hall to play, which would be good. But these big gains, these big plays they keep getting up. That was a problem last year in defense. They would give up a huge play, especially to running backs, smaller running backs. I don't even know who this guy was. It was Seattle. I think he was a rookie out of Boise State. The announcers seem to think that he's the second coming of Marshawn Lynch. Frankly, I never heard of him. We'll see what happens when the regulars come in. You've got some players on defense that are still hurt. You're looking at Greg Newsome with a hamstring. A couple of weeks ago, they said that's a 6 to 8 week recovery. That would put the season opener at week 4. You don't want to put him on injured reserve because then you got to wait 6 weeks. If he's going to be back week 5 or 6, they'll keep him on the roster. You've got Warden, his 5,000th concussion. The safety position should be stabilized now with Thornhill, McLeod, Delpit, DeAnthony Bell. But secondary's in a little bit of a mess. If Greg Newsome can't go, I have full faith in Cameron Mitchell, and it might give an opportunity for a player to make the squad that doesn't make the squad normally. So I'm not. I just want to see the starters. So what else was there? Special teams gave up that big punt return for a touchdown. What was it, 79 yards, something like that? Oh, come on. These are guys fighting for a roster spot, and to do that will get you cut quicker than anything. So I'm sure Bubba Ventrone, when they got back to Cleveland, next time they're in the facilities, is going to rip them a new one because that's inexcusable. These are the guys who, some of them will be playing special teams. So, and that first missed tackle, just boom, he was gone. He went all in. So let's just let's just tighten it up a little more, guys. Got to see some more positivity. So 2 weeks from today, Dallas Cowboys. I heard one of their starting corners is out with surgery, which is not good for them. Could be good for the Browns. We'll find out. We'll also find out, like I said, who's going to play left tackle. It would be an ideal situation for Wills to play left tackle, Conklin to play right. Then you have Hudson and DeJuan Jones as your backups. But don't be surprised if there's a surprise at left tackle. And I've got a feeling it's going to be Conklin. What else? I'm not really worried about Deshaun Watson. I've heard mixed reviews practice. But he is learning a new system. You saw a little bit of that last night with clear outs. Go back, watch some highlights. You'll see the Browns clearing out zones for the wide receiver who eventually caught the ball. Mostly James Thrash. By the way, James Thrash is going to force a major decision on the 53-man roster at wide receiver. He it's great separation, and he runs really, really precise routes. I don't know if they're going to give up on David Bell. He might be the odd man out, so that's something worth paying attention to. I'll have my annual 53-man prediction. I'm going to write it today. Hopefully, you can find it on the Fans First Sports Network tomorrow. I do this every year. Sometimes I'm in the 95% percentile. This one's going to be easy. There's just a few spots you got to, like the number 6 wide receiver, that you got to pick. So thank you for joining me today. I know a lot of Browns fans are bleary-eyed after staying up till 1:30 in the morning. I appreciate you joining me here on the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. As always, we appreciate you subscribing, following, listening, and watching because, we're just Browns fans like you. So thank you again, and everybody have a great day. Go Browns.